Changing Expectations, written by KK Slider. Chapter 19, Proteus.
The invasion of Equestria.
I interrupted Chrysalis's lesson.
It goes against everything Changeling stood by.
We had returned to our study after visiting the pod room. Chrysalis began our normal lessons with magic theory, this time covering harmonic shield lattices. The chill from earlier had subsided. However, it left behind a pain that ached and creaked like I had run a 10-mile marathon. My head throbbed, and my chest stung. Chrysalis sneered at my interruption.
This is happening with or without your approval, Prince Phasma. I am the queen. You are the prince.
I would have recommended the invasion had you not ordered it, Mother. I'm just remarking on the fact that you are going to break the masquerade, which goes against all ingrained rules and traditions of our species.
I do hope that you're not wasting my time by stating the obvious.
So why stop there? Surely there are alternatives to Love Collection. Why limit yourself to doing what your forebears did when you already disregard the rules and teachings?
This again. Prince Phasma, we harvest love from potted prey because it is the most efficient method we have at our disposal.
The pain was making me frustrated, so I argued further.
But surely other methods tried in the past are viable now that the masquerade has been discarded.
Alternatives have been considered, and they have all been rejected. Now, repeat back to me the available frequencies for shield lattices for defending against fire spells.
I grunted in annoyance. I'm getting nowhere fast. Chrysalis seems resolute, though at least she considered alternatives. Maybe once I get my hooves on more information, I can better prepare a case to change her mind. Throw that onto a pile of shit to deal with at a later time, I guess. Lessons continued as normal for the rest of the day. Well, not really. The pains, while not even close to being as bad as the chest pain I had in the storage room, were more than distracting. I missed points here and there. I zoned out occasionally. Often I found myself rubbing the base of my horn. Eventually it came time for magic practice. When Chrysalis finished the final lesson for the day, she stood up from behind her desk and said her goodbye to me.
We are done for the day, Prince Phasma,
Chrysalis said. Then she actually put a hoof on my shoulder.
You were distracted during our lessons. I do not have the time nor patience to repeat the material. You need to put the extraction lessons behind you and move on. Prince Phasma, you said it yourself. We are predators. The hunt is messy and it's unpleasant to look at, but this is for the survival of our species. You will move on.
I thought of the bloody carcasses I saw in the nature documentaries. Messy is an understatement. If it's truly the only way, what choice would I have? Would I inflict pain upon others to survive? I didn't like it, and I knew it would end horribly for us, but I knew the answer to that question. What choice do we have? It's us or them. Chrysalis let her hoof drop to the floor and walked past me.
Better them than us,
I mumbled. I stood up from the seat across from the desk and paced about the room. I had some time before Officer Cadid's arrival from magic practice. I don't know enough about changelings to think of alternative methods for food sources by myself. I rubbed my head as I thought. Maybe Thorax has a few ideas. This is why I wanted him in the Fang, after all. I'm sure he's put no small amount of thought into this. Problem is, where is he? Pharynx would know, but fuck Pharynx. I groaned and flopped onto the couch. I worked my jaw as I stared at the empty fireplace in front of me. My headache was really starting to sap my focus. Does this pain have something to do with the fact that I extracted love myself? Shit, I didn't think to ask Chrysalis. I'll have to ask Katydid. Love extracting. Could I induct Katydid? Like Thorax, he has a good heart. No, he's an officer and my subordinate now. But I can't risk adding him to the First Fang, because he has too much contact with both Chrysalis and Yucharis. The odds of him accidentally revealing the First Fang is too great. I flipped onto my back and stared at the ceiling. Creating a less risky group within the military that I can seek ideas from is my best bet here. That and the vault. It's going to be a bit before I can start giving orders around with impunity, so no funny business until then. The vault is fair game. I just need to get Eshadai into the guard and on vault detail. Eshadai will be returning with the infiltrator flunkies next week. That means I can get in contact with at least one of the First Fang, and we can start arranging things like secret meetings. Everything is moving so slow and yet so fast at the same time.
I'm sorry, my prince. I had an unexpected conversation earlier.
I grunted in acknowledgement.
It's fine. We're doing shields today too?
He smiled.
Yes, my prince. Nothing so advanced as what your materials cover, I have been told. But it is important material. We'll be working on the physical shaping of your shield spell. Is everything all right, my prince?
I shut my eyes, covering them with a hoof. I could still taste the Pegasus's pain. Or maybe that was the pain at the top of my head, spreading down to my muzzle.
Are there side effects of extracting love manually?
I asked, glancing at the changing drone with a half-opened eye. Katydid brought a hoof to his chin as he looked to the ceiling.
No? No. There shouldn't be any sort of side effect, Prince Phasma.
He looked back down to me, still on my back on the couch.
What are your symptoms? I can fetch a nurse immediately.
I gave a dismissive wave.
Just aches and pains. A bit everywhere, but mostly my head hurts.
It's like going through puberty all over again. Wait a second.
Katydid? Nymphs go through a series of molts, right?
That's right. You believe you are approaching your first molt, my prince?
Would it explain the pains I'm feeling?
He shook his head.
Symptoms of approaching a molt do not include strange pains, my prince. Just an uncomfortable feeling of tightness.
I gave another groan at that, but Katydid continued.
Though I've never heard anything about royal nymphs or accelerated growth cycles. Perhaps your highness is indeed approaching your first molt?
I sat up, ignoring the pain.
Maybe. Another question for Queen Chrysalis, I guess. Anyways, we're doing shields?
Katydid shuffled his hoofs.
I would be much more comfortable if I could fetch medical assistance, my prince. I do not think you should be ignoring this. Queen Chrysalis might be busy, but a dedicated nurse can be here within minutes.
I don't.
A jab of pain in my horn ended my protest.
Fuck, that stings. I'm 6 months old, and I spent a month as a larva.
Where did you learn how to swear?
He asked me, not for the first time. I ignored him, not for the first time.
Is that a normal ratio for changeling growth cycles?
Your first molt is expected in another month, following our observations on your biology. I'm fetching a nurse.
Katydid said after I hissed in pain. I wanted to argue, but avoiding getting mysterious pain checked out sounds like a great way to die for no reason. Nurse Optuator finished running a diagnostic spell on Prince Phasma Tadea. From his near-polished hooves to his smooth curved horn, the spell showed everything as fine. At least, as far as Optuator could tell.
Where does it hurt the most?
Optuator asked.
Again, my head.
The young prince growled.
Keep asking that, and your head's gonna hurt too.
Like mother, like son. I'm surprised I made it this long without a threat, even if it isn't a death threat. When did this start?
This morning.
On a scale of...
A lot. It hurts a lot.
What were you doing when the pain started?
Extracting love.
Utilizing the threat of change could exacerbate pre-existing conditions. Have you done anything else of note in the past week?
Physically, no.
Well, Prince Phasma, the scan is being less than helpful. I do not have any experience with the morphology of changeling royals, my prince. I believe Her Majesty should be notified immediately.
Queen Chrysalis was inspecting a discovery made down in the Green Cave, hence why she wasn't here immediately. Prince Phasma at first denied Optuator from sending word to the Queen, but the nurse felt that he was out of his depth. Prince Phasma hissed.
Fine, go get her to do your job.
Nurse Optuator nodded at Officer Katydid, who then left the room.
Well, Queen Chrysalis, I warned you something like this could happen. Frankly, I'm surprised it took this long for symptoms to manifest. I'm sure it's nothing,
He told the grouchy nymph. Optuator threw in a fanged smile to try to cheer Phasma up.
I'm not imagining the pain.
Oh, no, my prince. I was not insinuating that.
Phasma tapped his horn and grimaced.
Then what were you insinuating?
Have you casted any complicated spells recently? Anything that might have to do with this pain?
If I did, I would have told you. Stupid dumbass.
Phasma mumbled something under his breath. Optuator guessed that it was an insult.
Have you been using your magic frequently?
Yes.
Do you have trouble performing?
But what? I'm a nymph, you overgrown shit-eating dung beetle motherfucker.
Spells! Performing spells! I don't even want to them like Chrysalis at the Crickets and the Bees speech with a 6-month-year-old nymph. By Pinar.
That makes more sense. No, my spells have been fine.
Conduits are okay. Diagnostics confirm that. He rubs the base of his horn a lot. Could it have to do with the horn structure? When was the last time he casted a spell outside of levitation?
4 days ago, I think.
Anything of note that happened then?
Phasma crossed his hooves.
Officer Katydid had me going over the changeling transformation spell.
He took in a long breath.
We were going over different surface level changes.
Optuator suppressed a sigh.
If we had access to pony alcohol in the hive, I would surely have died of liver failure by now. You don't think changing your physiology counts as an important thing to tell me?
I've been busy!
Phasma threw his hooves in the air.
Shit happened!
Optuator recalled the fates of 3 of his predecessors. One was not quick enough with a diagnosis. Another tried to overrule Queen Chrysalis when it came to treatment. A final gave bad news on a day that was already terrible for the changeling monarch.
Well, it's not every day the queen events in a position in charge of the entire swarm. Not to mention Prince Phasma is only half a year old, so a skewed sense of importance is far above the worst-case scenario. In fact, he's only threatened me once. He's answered every question, and he's been as restrained as possible. Give him the pain he's in. I was wrong. Compared to his mother, he's practically a saint.
But before he could apologize for being less than careful with treating the irritated royal, who could order his execution, Phasma touched his horn one more time. He hissed in pain as it wobbled.
That's not supposed to do that.
Optuator helpfully pointed out. Changing Expectations. Written by KK Slider. Chapter 20. Endymion.
No, it's definitely not supposed to do that.
Queen Chrysalis confirmed. Ah! She gently tapped my horn, causing it to jiggle and me yelp out in pain.
I'm going to peel you apart layer by layer if you do that again.
That got a giggle out of Chrysalis.
You've yet to show proficiency in the sharpened will spell, or any alternatives, Prince Phasma, and you're in no condition for casting spells.
Does my queen know what ails our prince?
Yes, he's losing his horn.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Captain Obvious has been retired from the Equestrian Royal Guard for 30 years now. Prince Phasma, this has nothing to do with ponies. No, your horn is falling out. Not to worry though, you will sprout a replacement.
Changelings don't just grow horns. We're not deer.
Chrysalis grinned.
Astute observation, Prince Phasma. We are changelings, yes. However, he forgets that we are changeling royals. Our biology differs from that of a drone's.
So are you saying that your horn falls out too?
Don't be ridiculous. Of course not.
I groaned and put my head in my hooves. Then I yelped in pain and shot upwards when I accidentally brushed against my horn.
Ow! Then what the fuck is happening to me?
Chrysalis's grin vanished as quickly as it appeared. She cleared her throat.
It would appear that there are unforeseen consequences to your upbringing.
Behind her, Nurse Obturator opened his mouth and raised a hoof as if to argue, but quickly shut his mouth and put his hoof back down. Chrysalis continued.
It's not unheard of for a changeling royal to lose their horn. It is assumed to be a defect. However, we have neither the time nor the resources to truly investigate the matter. You will have to be placed in a healing pod shortly as you transition to a new horn. An unfortunate delay in your training, but I'm certain you'll be able to make up for lost time.
There's definitely something she's not telling me. I'm going to be placed into a pod and that's it? I'll be all good?
Yes.
No chance of anything going horribly wrong?
Yes.
You hesitated there.
No.
How bad is it?
There is a chance he will explode.
Oh god, I'm gonna die again!
She must have noticed the clear signs of panic because she followed up with,
Just a small chance. Well, not really. But I'm sure you'll be fine. You're too important to my plans to die.
How reassuring.
Keep your sarcasm limited, Prince Phasma. You're not as witty as you think you are. No, you will not die to this. Losing your connection to your mana pool is far from safe, but you will have access to the best healing on this continent.
I died once before. It's not like I have plot armor or anything.
You may suffer other symptoms, though. Do not panic. I can have your Petro enchanted with a permanent disguise spell if you turn pastel green or pink.
I think I prefer death.
A reasonable response, but your duties come first. Once Equestria has been conquered, then I may consider a petition for your release from life, my pretty pink Prince Phasma.
more carefully this time, I face-hoofed.
Ain't this just fantastic? What does this mean for my immediate future?
You will molt very soon. Your combat training will also be delayed a bit to make sure that there are no complications. But you will begin reforming the swarm soon. You have been creating a plan, of course.
Yes, I have been putting no small amount of thought into it.
as well as finding answers that I need, ones that you won't provide. Speaking of which,
Queen Chrysalis, is there a reason you couldn't acquire question books on military tactics?
she took little time to think of a response.
The Infiltrator Network has yet to breach Upper Canterlot, let alone the EUP, and the ponies keep their military tactics close to their chest. Rest assured, as the Promised Day grows closer, we will gain access to their codices and doctrines. The best way to fight an enemy is to know how they think, after all. It would be preferable to manufacture and distribute their training manuals ourselves for obvious reasons, but we do not have the time for such a deep infiltration.
I suppose I'll have to implement counter-strategies and drills in the small amount of time between the delivery of their manuals and the invasion day.
You have excelled at all goals placed before you thus far. But first, you should focus on the Herculean task in front of you, the Swarm's reformation.
For security's sake, the biopod was placed in my own room. Nothing's better than the most defended wing of the entire hive, after all. Nurse Optuator and Chamberlain Uchars were in my room with me. The nurse to oversee and control the process, and the Chamberlain for some reason I didn't know. My bed, still bare, had been pushed to the corner of the room. In its stead, a dark blue ovoid dominated the small room. It had a glisten to it, like I was looking at hard candy. Knowing that it was going to be filled with a love slurry added to this comparison. Though, strangely enough, I was not looking forward to being submerged in the drug-gel combination. I really hope I can't overdose on love. I'm too handsome to die. Optuator popped open the top using his magic, revealing the translucent pinkish slurry within.
This positively charged cycle of magnoferric love gel will help facilitate the sealing of your mana pool when it's exposed to the outside environment. In addition, it will also prevent infections. Now, Prince Phasma, all you have to do is hop in. Once you are lulled to sleep, I will close the pod. Your health will be checked up on several times a day.
I turned to face the nurse.
Look, I don't mean to call into question your qualifications, mostly because I doubt their existence, but this does not look like something I want to hop in. It looks like it's going to digest me.
Well...
For fuck's sake.
I rubbed my temples.
I was joking, my prince. I am sorry. This is serious business. It's perfectly fine. Plenty of changelings of pods to repair serious injuries. I've got a pod occupied right now down in the medical spire. Everything will be fine.
Eucharis added.
I was briefly potted a few years ago when an accident destroyed part of the training room I was in, Prince Phasma. It fixed me right up and was as pleasant as a long snooze.
My studies did briefly cover the different pods. These had a very, very high success rate, the kind that human doctors would salivate over, or insurance companies looking to bleed people dry.
It looks disgusting.
We all endure hardships, Your Highness. Surely some discomfort is worth not dying.
Eucharis has a point. I'm acting like I'm a 6-month-old child. I need to stop acting my age.
Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. This pain has made me irritable.
Eucharis gave me a smile, then nodded towards the pod. I dipped a hoof in. It was lukewarm, and the slime felt strange on my chitin. I buzzed up and above the pod, and slowly lowered myself into it. The sudden movement sent a jab of pain through my head. The pod was giving me a very strong sense of deja vu.
Hey, is this the same stuff that's in the larva eggs?
Optuator's eyebrows shot up.
It's actually very similar. In fact, we discovered it after reverse engineering the abdomen fluid found within those eggs.
Your mind never rests, it seems, my prince.
Not by choice. I'll see you when I wake up and undertake the biggest reformation in changeling history, then.
Yes, my prince. Focus on that, and a week will fly by in the blink of an eye.
I already felt the warm ooze, which should by all accounts freak me out, start to make me feel drowsy. Why does love always make me sleepy? What is love? My eyelids started getting heavy, and I didn't fight to keep them open. As I let them fall closed, I sunk lower into the gel. I didn't even notice when my head became fully submerged in, though I did notice the pain slowly ebb away. My whole body, in fact, started to feel better immediately. There must also be a numbing property as well. I couldn't tell when I fell asleep. The moments seemed to blend in with each other as blackness took me. However, I knew I was asleep for some time when I started dreaming. My eyes shot open, and I found myself staring at the night sky. My night sky. Not the alien one I caught glimpses of during my flying lessons. I could point out the constellations, the Big Dipper, only the Big Dipper. Still, the sight made me smile. I was lying down, I noticed. Turning my head, I felt fine silt brush against the back of my head and neck as I turned towards the side. Grayish-white rocks and powder rose up to meet the sky. It looked like I was in a crater. A glance at the night sky confirmed my suspicions. Flipping over and standing on all fours, I rose out of the shallow crater and took in my surroundings. A vast, unending landscape of white dunes, rocks, and craters. I looked down at myself. Unlike my last eventful dream, I had no spacesuit. No, I was as naked as the day I was born, and the day I hatched, and every day after that one, except for one occasion where I had a fancy necklace. I giggled at my own joke, but I couldn't hear myself. I felt the vibrations from my vocal cords, but no sound reached my ears. Instead, I heard someone else's voice, a very familiar someone feminine and right behind me.
Who hath chrysalis? My, this is a most unexpected development.
Can't go a week without this shit. I put on as big of a smile as I could and turned around.